Welcome back, everyone. We are here today with our Sunday edition of the show. Today's Cabral HouseCall is episode 2284. If you'd like to follow along with the questions, you can, and they are right over at stephencabral.com/2284. All right, every single weekend we answer a dozen of our community's questions. We answered 6 yesterday on episode 2283. Hopefully you were able to tune in then. If you weren't, you can always find all of the archived Cabral Concept shows at stephencabral.com/podcasts. All right, let's dive into today's show. Let's answer some questions here. And the first question is coming in from Jennifer. Jennifer says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. I got the virus in March of 2021 and again in January 2022. I'm a healthy 44-year-old woman. For some reason, each time the virus affected my heart rate. It gives me the feeling like my heart is beating very fast and it makes me feel anxious. Gives me a feeling like I drank too much coffee. Last year, I had my heart checked. Everything was normal. I can't say the other word. It went away after I received the, let's say, shot last year. But I really don't want to get another one this year. Again, these words will all get me banned, unfortunately, shadow banned at least. So we'll just keep it at that. Anyways, to get the heart to stop beating so fast. Okay, yeah, let's go over this. So here's the thing. When you get any virus or any illness, when your immune system ramps up, your heart rate's going to ramp up. Inflammation increases, okay, because inflammation is, people think of it as a bad thing, but it's usually repair work. And your body is in an internal fight on the inside of your body. So at the same time, you're depleting your body as well of B vitamins, as well typically of magnesium. You know you need your vitamin C. You know you need your vitamin D. So these are all crucial things that we get. In my opinion, again, I can't give you what you may be low on or high on, but I would absolutely look at the starter kit, which gives you your vitamin and mineral-based levels. No doubt about it. Even if you didn't run any of the other labs, that's what I would run. And then if you were to run one more lab, I would run the stress, mood, and metabolism lab to look if you just naturally run a little higher on cortisol or higher on thyroid. And both of those would increase heart rate as well. And by higher on thyroid, I mean more towards hyperthyroidism, which is under 1, but really under 0.5 for a TSH. So that's what I would look at. Getting your body, again, it's all about getting your body rebalanced, okay? Your body was under a great threat. It fought it off, but again, we need to make sure that we're helping our immune system. All right, Jennifer? And again, I have to give you my line here. I can provide you with no medical advice, no medical treatments, no medical diagnosis. This is a show talking about health information on underlying root cause imbalances and not treating disease. All right. Alan's up next. Hello, Dr. Cabral. I've done the minerals and metals test in the past. I did have some aluminum levels and vitamin deficiencies in the hair sample. I'm assuming, Alan, you mean mineral deficiencies. Totally get it. I've since taken some supplements and I fixed those deficiencies. I recognize now that I should have done a heavy metals detox right away. However, I'm in the middle of trying to conceive and did not want to interrupt that. And I know it's not safe to do while trying to conceive. So I never completed the heavy metals detox, ate a balanced diet, healthy weight, do a few liver functional medicine detoxes a year. I work out 4 to 5 days a week. I do my sauna, weights, cardio. All right, let's see what else is going on. I was wondering, aren't I naturally detoxing heavy metals and other toxins from my body very regularly when I sweat and eat foods that support the natural detox process? I know that supplements in the heavy metal detox assist with the detox process, but I'm wondering how much I am naturally able to detox on my own by simply living a healthy lifestyle. I know the research supports that the supplements that come with the heavy metal detox work. Are there other ways to remove heavy metal toxins? Thank you for answering my questions. I totally understand. And I do agree. When you are you're hoping to conceive that month, or you might be pregnant, I agree that we're not looking to do a detox. Now, yes, so I mean, you're living a really healthy lifestyle. So first of all, fantastic job. I mean, fantastic job. You're exercising, you do sauna, functional medicine detox is fantastic. So, I mean, your body's detoxing every single day. And every time you do a sauna, you're getting a little bit more. So that's all very, very helpful, especially the infrared sauna for the metals, but a regular sauna has its own benefits for heat shock proteins, et cetera. So anyway, they're both great. So here's the thing. You can eat and add some cilantro to your diet. You're not really going to eat any chlorella. That's not going to happen. You can take a little bit of vitamin C, nothing wrong with that, and you just won't use the biofilm disruptor, right? So it's like you can eat cilantro or take some cilantro. That's not going to be that big deal. The difference with the heavy metal detox is not the detox, believe it or not. The detox is your fruits and vegetables and things that ramp up phase 1 and phase 2 every day. What the heavy metal detox does is it actually helps with chelation. It actually helps bind up those heavy metals in your body. That's why it's so powerful. But yes, your body's detoxing naturally on a daily basis. No doubt about it. The heavy metal detox just speeds that up. And honestly, it sounds like you're doing a fantastic job, to be honest with you. All right. And even the daily fruit and vegetable blend on a daily basis, that's what I use. So the daily fruit and vegetable blend on a daily basis can be used. Yeah, there's a little bit of that chlorella and other spirulina and other items in there, but fine for daily use, right? Not just a mega dose like you get the big dose with the heavy metal detox to do what it's supposed to do. All right. Kelly's up next. Hello, Dr. Cabral. Thank you so much for your podcast and book. You are a true blessing to people like myself seeking optimum wellness and disease prevention. Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate that. I am relatively healthy, 35-year-old female with a strange question. All right, let's see what it is. My husband and I had the virus in October. Prior to our infection with the virus, let me just take these out so my team, because my team doesn't edit these, they just post them. I had suffered for about 3 years with unexplained shortness of breath. I tried endlessly to get to the bottom of what was causing the disorder. I did diaphragm exercises, took iron supplements, aerobic exercise, tried adaptogens, stress relieving things like lavender. I did counseling, meditation. The shortness of breath came out of the blue in my early 30s and magically disappeared after I recovered from the virus, which took about 2 weeks. The only explanation was that I had the virus. I would inhale steam and essential oils like tea tree and grapefruit seed extract in another germ-fighting blend. I'm curious about your thoughts on whether my long-term shortness of breath could have been attributed to some bacteria or fungus in my lungs that was inadvertently wiped out as I don't want to say the word treated, but you said it, virus symptoms. With gentle steam inhalation with essential oils, I'm baffled at how this chronic condition could vanish. All right, well, there's two explanations. The first one is it could be from those very powerful essential oils that you nebulized or you inhaled in. So that's explanation number one. Explanation number two is that it was a strong virus. You did fight it off. Your immune system at the same time was elevated and may have fought off what was also causing your shortness of breath. That's the second possibility. As they say, we may never know. The good news is it's gone. You're healthy. You're feeling good, obviously. And you know in the future, if it were ever to return, you may, again, not giving you any medical advice, do some of that steam-based inhalation with the same germ-fighting blend. All right? Great work, Kelly. Oren's up next. Hi, I'm 20 years old, female. I can't remember a time in my life when I wasn't chubby. I'm not immensely overweight. I weigh about 70 kilograms at 1.7 meters. I've done strict keto for months, combined with the 1 meal a day diet and intermittent fasting a few times a week. And I also train jiu-jitsu 4 times a week. Now I'm starting carnivore. I eat about 1,300 to 1,700 calories a day, depending on my hunger. My body won't respond to any of that except for helping with bloating. Measurements and compositions stayed the same for a year. Trying these things, I don't really know what to do anymore. I took the body type and my answers were almost dispersed equally with a small favor of Vata and Pitta, except for the fact that I gain weight easily and can't seem to lose it from my thighs and belly no matter what I do. I'm kind of desperate, so I'd love some help. Thank you. All right. So Oren, I've answered this and I'm happy to help and I do want to help you. But I've answered this hundreds of times. And again, I don't say this in a way that like I want to feel like I'm not going to help you because I am, but I want you to go back to stephencabral.com/podcast because I don't want to give you a 2-minute answer. I'm going to help, but I want you to go deep on this because you're doing all of the things that I've shared from my clinical practice that destroys women's metabolism. 1 meal a day, you're doing 20 plus hour intermittent fasting. You're now going to do carnivore. You've done keto. You've really eliminated your body's ability to deal with carbohydrates. And you're doing this because I know that, the so-called experts out there are telling you to do that. They are wrong. I can assure you, no one who does lab testing says these things. They don't. They just don't. There are no integrative health practitioners. There are no doctors, worth their salt that do metabolism, metabolic-based lab testing that would ever recommend what people are recommending. They just aren't. They just do not, especially for women. Okay? So what do? Well, we need to rebuild your metabolism. That's for sure. That's one, right? You weigh 70 kilograms. That's 164 pounds, 154 pounds, apologies. And so you're probably not far from your body weight, your ideal body weight. So what we need to do is just simply get your body to be able to use food as fuel, and that includes carbohydrates. So again, I've got so many shows on this. Go to stephencabral.com/podcast. If you scroll through the image at the top, there's a new weight loss based one that will teach you about that. All my intermittent fasting ones, I can't recommend enough learning about those. Go to stephencabral.com/IF. Those podcasts, again, all of this is free. Those are going to teach you what you need to do. But the nice thing is you're only 20 years old, okay? Now, the bad thing is you're 20 years old. So this is like super important. I totally get it, and I want to help. Now, the nice thing is if you figure this out now, then you've got it locked in for the rest of your life. And so that's the good thing. That's why, I'm glad I got sick at 17 because I figured it out through my early 20s, and now I'm good for the rest of my life, right? So it's like we want to do the same for you. That's it. We're here for you if you ever want one-on-one support. You can run at-home labs. You can do all of these different things. The at-home lab that I was talking about for the metabolism is the stress, mood, and metabolism test. But for you, I definitely recommend the Big Five if you can. If not, the starter kit and the stress, mood, and metabolism, that's at stephencabral.com/labs. But again, listen to all the free podcasts first. Get the education, because then you know why what we are going to help you with is going to work. All right? Anonymous is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Hope you're doing well and can help me, point me in the right direction to get well. I experience chronic runny nose upon waking in the morning or after lying down for a long period of time. It stops running a couple hours after being awake and sometimes comes back in the evening. I also have extreme sugar, mainly chocolate cravings, nocturia, mood swings, acne, foul gas, but no bloating. My Candida metabolic vitamins test showed no microbial overgrowth, below the mean for all neurotransmitter metabolites, and slightly elevated orotic acid. If I have no bacterial overgrowth, where's the gas coming from? And why won't my nose stop running? Do I need to run additional FM labs to figure this out? Thank you in advance for your advice and recommendations. Okay, so when you ran the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, you looked mainly for yeast overgrowth with secondary markers for mold. It only looks at C. diff for bacteria. You may not have yeast overgrowth, but you may have bacterial overgrowth. That's an absolute possibility, especially if you have foul gas. So if you want to find out what bacteria may be overgrown, or if you have parasites, you'd want to run the bacteria and parasite stool test. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because not every lab can test everything. That's the thing, is you can't get everything in one lab because you're looking at different samples. Urine versus the stool, right? That's a different sample. Stool test is not great at testing for yeast, but it's the best at testing for parasites, H. pylori, and bacteria. Okay, well, what else can I share with you? Okay, the chronic runny nose. Okay, this can be called eosinophilic rhinitis, which typically comes from an imbalanced autonomic nervous system with a Th2 dominant immune system, which is referred to as dysautonomia. I know that's a mouthful, so let's break that down. Dysautonomia often comes from being exposed to some type of microbe or pathogen for a chronic period of time, and some people are more prone to it. So for example, on my mom's side of the family, we're more prone to Th2 dominance. My dad's side of the family is more Th1 dominance. I inherited more genes for mastocytosis as well as Th2 dominance. That means I don't necessarily move towards those Th1 issues, but I have all those allergy, not anymore, but allergy and all those other things. That's what a lot of people have with Th2 immune system imbalances. The extreme sugar craving is an interesting one because there absolutely could be a gut imbalance, or it could simply be a blood sugar imbalance due to the adrenals, and the adrenals could be causing a lot of this as well. There's no doubt about it. So in my opinion, you're going to run the bacterium parasite stool test and potentially the stress, mood, and metabolism test to find out next steps for this specifically. And then if it's mainly happening in one spot, like your bedroom and nowhere else, like if it was happening when you're on vacation, but also your bedroom, then okay, it's when you lie down. But, and then you maybe want to do a neti pot, see if there's any local candida yeast overgrowth in the nasal passages or mold. And then it certainly could be mold, but the oat should pick up a little bit of that. You can always run the mycotoxins test. And the last one is if it's only local to your bedroom, then there could be dust mites. There could be other things that you're sensitive to. All right, just kind of want to lay out a few different scenarios. All right, let's get in. Let's see how many questions have we answered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have one more question. It's from Summer. Let me update my document for my team. Summer says, hey doc, on day 14 of day 21 of the detox and day 14 of the CBO as well. I'm a 32-year-old female, hypothyroidism, which is low thyroid, gut dysbiosis, which means imbalanced gut bacteria, confirmed with testing. I have actually lost some stubborn weight that I haven't been able to budge in years, so grateful for that. I'm concerned that it's because I'm starving. I've been eating clean for 5 to 6 years. I can't tolerate any of the plant proteins, so I've had to add some additional salmon and a little wild game into my lunches. I used to survive on mainly fats, especially nuts and eggs. I'm really struggling to get over 1,000 calories and hit my macros. Really missing my hearty breakfast, worried about causing further damage to my thyroid and adrenals. I seem to be intolerant of my normal exercise as well. Exercise in the morning is out of the question. My stomach is always gurgling, not hunger pains, just noisy, terrible gas and bloating for 9 days. I think that may be due to all the extra veggies I've added. I cook everything to help with digestion. I use bitters before meals, chewing everything to a liquid, massage my gut, ginger pepper teas. Is my digestion actually getting worse? Should I just power through? That's what I'm doing, but I would like to hear your suggestions, even if it's 7 weeks out. Support group has had some suggestions, but not satisfactory. Thanks. Okay, happy to help. All right. There's so much going on here. We're going to peel it all back and we're going to get your answer. All right. So first things first, like the main thing is you have to go with the underlying root cause. There's a gut issue. Like there is a gut issue. So you can work on hypothyroidism at the same time. You can work with your, on increasing your calories. You can, power through the detox. But really what we need to do is there's an underlying root cause, and there always is. And yours is probably gut dysbiosis. So what do we need to do? Well, again, I'm not providing any medical advice, but you're only 2 weeks into the CBO. So the CBO is 12 weeks long, and we're going to do the CBO protocol with the citracidal drops. If you didn't add those in, I would add them in. And then we're going to do the CBO finisher. Then what we're going to do is if you're not already working with it with one of our IHPs or health coaches, you're going to be addressing hypothyroidism. Why do you have hypothyroidism? Lack of certain minerals, a lack of certain vitamins that help process active thyroid. Is it low iron? Then you're going to look at, is it high cortisol? You're going to fix that, right? So, okay, now we're fixing the thyroid. Good. So now what are we doing? Well, we're improving metabolism. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add in that breakfast, because I'm not an advocate of skipping breakfast. I'm an advocate of intermittent fasting, but not skipping breakfast. So we're adding in breakfast, and you're going to eat the foods that you currently tolerate. Then after that, sure, we can move a little more plant-based if you'd like to, but if not, just, again, keep it healthy. When you talk about macros, I'm not exactly sure specifically what you're talking about. You're obviously following a specific macro plan. I just think most healthy individuals don't need to be concerned with their macros. I mean, they really don't. I don't know anybody who, once they're healthy, needs to say, okay, well, I'm going to get 40-30-30 or 60-30-10 or, like whatever it might be. I just don't think that you need to do that. I think you need to focus on good, healthy, clean food and not think of food as this thing that needs to be manipulated. But in the beginning, yeah, sure. I'm not disagreeing with that. Again, like if I set a specific goal and I wanted to add more muscle or more weight, yeah, I would actually look at how many grams of protein am I taking in per day. I just think that after a while, once you're good with your health and you're good with your body, you're just eating a normal diet and going about your life. So that's exactly what I would do. Without a doubt, that's where I would be. Start with the CBO, address the metabolism, address the hormones, get that breakfast back in there. Even if 1,000 calories is too little. You've heard me say that on the podcast before. Once you go below 1,200 to 1,600 calories, again, depending on your height and weight, it's just too little. And you can only do that for so long before it hurts your metabolism even more. So yeah, that's what I recommend. And again, if you add in extra veggies in the beginning, you could certainly get the bloating or gas or cramping because you're not used to eating that many veggies. So start smaller, just add half a cup a day, like more than you're typically used to, and then go up by a cup the next week. And then you can add more and more. And that's absolutely the way that we do it. No doubt about it. I have a nice little podcast if you want to check out this one I did recently, and it's How to Get Well When Nothing Works. And that's episode 2279. Summer, this one's dedicated for you. And of course, anybody else like myself, when nothing else works, how do you get well? And this is the podcast that delineates what to do next. So hopefully this has been helpful. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Always a pleasure reading your questions, being able to help in any small way that I can. And of course, if the show was helpful, do feel free to share it with anybody else you believe it could serve. Don't forget to tune back in tomorrow. Mondays are for mindset and motivation. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone.